Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas, known her for years, trust her, and we have a number of things to talk to her about, including the apathy of voters, or voter apathy, I should say, in Cook County and mostly parts of Illinois. With that, we welcome her to the program. Good morning, Maria Pappas. How are you?
Good morning. It's great to be with you. We've got a research group in here headed up by Hal Dardick. We've now got Andy Grimm. We've got 2 or 3 University of Chicago students. And so on cookcountytreasure.com, there are a number of Pappas studies. And Amy, you know this better than anybody, that there ain't much left of the press that's doing investigative journalism. So we've kind of taken that on, and it's called the Pappas studies. Our most recent one is really disgusting. I mean, when Dardick came in and gave me these figures, I'm like, I'm going to puke. So here's why. How about that? How about starting out your show that way?
Okay.
So look, in the last election, go figure this, in the last 2 elections, one of those, that consolidated election, nobody shows up for anyway. But what happened? Roughly 20% of the people in the entire Cook County voted, but of that 20% that voted, $335 million worth of new bond deals went through. And that's pretty scary, because you've got situations where there's 16,000 people, 1,600 or 2,000 come out and vote and pass an $80 million deal. So the lowest turnout in this referendum study, increased taxes, and get this, Northbrook Rural Fire Protection District. Does anybody even know where that is? But if you live in Northbrook, 815 people out of 16,000 people approved a $425,000 tax increase. And then what you have is, people are coming to my office and they're like, I hate it, I hate this, I hate that, I hate this. Did you vote? No. Did you vote? No. I live in Water Tower, no secret. I get on the elevator every day. I hate Brandon. I hate garbage. I hate electric. I hate phone. I hate gas. Did you vote? No. Did you vote? No. Did you vote? No. In my building, even 20% of the people vote. So I want to give you another example here, because this is like disgusting. This is Leiden Fire Protection District. Really? Leiden Fire Protection District. Does anybody even know where it is? But people actually live there. 9.4% of the eligible voters voted. And what did they vote for? They voted for a $3 million increase for a new fire station. So then everybody gets upset because there's a $730,000 increase, okay, which amounts to about 24% a year for the cost of a home. So, in these 20 referendums that people voted on, 15 of them passed. And you've got a $335 million tax increase, and people are like, oh, I stayed home. Okay, so you got what you deserved. Even when people go to the polls, the most complicated if you get to the bottom of the ballot, do you even understand the question they're asking you? Sometimes it's 5 or 6 sentences. I'm a lawyer. I don't know what they're saying. So what we're finding is that at the very bottom, the questions that appear at the bottom, 1,600 of the voters who went to the polls in the Roselle Fire Protection District in 2025, 504 people voted to increase taxes by 375%, 375,000. That means 69% of the people skipped the question. They got to the polls. Wait a minute. They get to the bottom. It sounds like it's Greek to me. They skipped the question. So what happens? 504 people pass on 375,000. So my message out there to everybody, everybody's, the mayor's election and the governor's election. This last election I was in the treasurer's race. Oh, Breckwinkle and Pritzker and Pappas, they won by an overwhelming majority. I didn't win anything. 80% of the people didn't even vote in my election. What are you telling me, an overwhelming majority? Like an overwhelming majority of the 20% who voted? So we need to start to think about why people never vote. And one of the reasons, I think, is there's no major excitement there. There's no major excitement about who is going to help change things. There's no Harold Washington movement, okay? There's no movement up front that, like, you know what? You go to the Cubs game, everybody's like really excited. You go to the Bears game, the pre-game, everybody's... Nobody's excited about anything in politics. Nobody.
You know what? I'm just going to butt in here just if you don't mind for a minute, because they certainly are excited. Because you put Trump's name into anything on the Democrat side, and people are just their heads explode, and it brings them out to vote against him in this state. That's what they do. And so what they've done is they've taken these local elections. They've taken even like the U.S. Senate race, for example, and they have nationalized every single thing, even when it comes to a school board race, a state rep race. It's like, how do you feel about Trump? How do you feel about ICE? I'm sorry, I'm not voting on that on a school board. I'm not voting on that in a municipality, quite frankly, in, a small town. Maybe Chicago, you might have some influence there. But truthfully, that's what they've done. They've tried to nationalize everything when it should be about what's happening locally. And so people's heads spin. And so I've often said that if you can nationalize a race to some degree, perhaps that energy goes with your candidate in a positive way. But on the other flip side, it can also go out negative. But you go to the board, you go to a door, and they want to know how you feel about Trump. They don't care that you just got taken to the cleaners with, $800 million in tax increases, the largest budget in the entire state history, despite out-migration and education in your schools absolutely sucks. They don't care. They want to know how you feel about Trump. What the hell's that?
Really interesting. What I find really very interesting in this election, someone sent me yesterday. I want to show you this. This came from a really well-known press guy. He told me that in the Chicago Tribune, in May 11th of 2019, Alexi Giannoulias wrote an op-ed praising Trump. Okay? Now, it's election year, okay? And he's running for, whatever he's running for. And he's obviously done some polling because he comes from a staunch, his father-in-law's a staunch Republican, and that says you've got to trash Trump. So all of a sudden, he's running these ads where he's, trashing Trump because the polling is telling him to trash Trump. But if you go back to 2019, he said, we got to work with him. He's a wonderful guy, blah, 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 blah. So what's happening is this. People are polling, and people who have the money, I don't have any money in this race. I've got 100,000 bars of soap that say, clean up Chicago, Maria Pappas for mayor. And I'm not announced yet, and I'm not going to announce until much later because I don't want to give up my radio shows, which are very, very popular on WVON, Black Houses Matter. I'm like one of the most popular talk show hosts. I ain't giving up the radio program to get out there and do polling and spend a ton of money and say, hey, let's all hate Trump, let's all hate ICE, because that's what the polling tells me to say. Okay? Fact of the matter is, excuse me, the guy just took like $15 billion out of here and you're not talking to him? Hello? And then when asked, you say you're going to talk to him, but meanwhile, just a second, and let's get this straight, Amy. You are trashing Trump because he's a bully, and you're a bully. You're trying to bully everybody out of the mayor's race. You're trashing somebody, and you're just like him. You're bullying just like him. Give me a break.
We're on the line with Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas.
Tell that this out there. Well, you're bullying everybody in this race. You're trashing everybody. You and your minions behind the scenes are threatening people, telling them you're going to beat people up, on and on and on and on. And I'm not going to get into details. It's disgusting.
Well, I want the details, Maria, but
I'm not giving you the details.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to give you the details because the people around him are bullies.
Okay.
And they got a
wait, now, hold on.
Because they're acting just like them.
All right, you had a quote of the week in the Chicago Tribune. Tell us what your quote of the week was in the Tribune.
My quote of the week is that your IQ needs to be higher than your body temperature. How about that?
And what was the comment you made about his six-pack abs?
How about try this on for size? Hey, you're running for mayor. 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 does not equal 22. And that's what you're dealing with. That's what you're dealing with him.
Oh, yeah,
I get
for
it.
sure.
You know, you can't be a jock and think you can buy your way into City Hall because you've got a crown and you're a prince. And you're telling everybody, I need to get Maria Pappas out of this race, and there's one way to do it. I'm going to get her thrown off the ballot, and I'm going to win it outright. I just need to throw her off the ballot. Yeah, and that's what's going on here.
Okay,
so you know what? Yeah, you know what? I am out passing out soap. I'm passing my petitions.
I love
it. I'm good and ready. I'm going to announce. And you know what? You keep talking about Trump being a bully. Who do you think you and the people around you are? What do you think they are? You want me to spell bully? B-U-L-L-Y? You think people are stupid? They don't see through all the insincerity in your ads? Go ahead and spend $22 million. When the other candidates who've all been bullied by you, okay, and they all call me, they all adore me, okay, all the candidates, I talk to them all the time, okay? When this is all said and done, do you really think that $22 million can buy you City Hall? I don't think people are that stupid.
No, I mean, look at Michael Bloomberg with $1 billion couldn't buy any traction in the Democrat primary for president. So, like, no, it's not always money. You have to have some amount of money, but you don't need to have the most.
Amy, listen to me. You can run all the ads you want, but when you come off as insincere, good luck. And I don't care who you are. It doesn't have to be him. It could be any of them. If you come off as insincere and don't have the brain power to run the fifth floor, then you know what? You lose. Why are you trying to throw everybody off the ballot so that you can make it in the first round? You afraid of running against somebody one-on-one? Huh? Is that what you're afraid of? Yeah, you're afraid. And I know it. He's people in his camp that are talking.
He's been handed every single race. This is a joke. He's been handed every single race, and now the unions want to hand him this race because they want to control him. But I mean, if you're being sued by the CTU, you're a little bit of a hero.
You know what? Let me just tell you something. What that's about.
Okay.
You know, Stacey's got to elevate her profile. So how do you elevate your profile in Cook County? You attack Maria Pappas. That lawsuit's going to get thrown out, okay?
Sure.
They've already gotten $4.6 billion from me. They're complaining about $35 million. You know what? She's got to do something to elevate. I get it. I'm like, hey, Stacey, I'd love to talk to her. I'm like, hey, Stacey, what are you doing? You want to redeem yourself. What are you coming after me for? Go after Janulius. I'm not the enemy. Brandon needs to be in this race. What's the matter with you?
Well, do you think he's going to run again? I mean, if you were him, would you run again if the polling shows the black community only 12.9%?
I'm the only person out there. I'm the only person. I'm one of several people out there who thinks he's credible. I think he could win again. I really do. He's got a following. And let me tell you who it is, because I'm out there. I'm in the street.
Okay.
I'm with people in line who are trying to go. 50% of the people in the city of Chicago are making under $50,000 a year. Who do you think they're going to vote for? Huh? Who do you think they're going to vote for? Look at Michigan. Look at New York. Who do you think they're going to vote for? I'm telling you, I'm out there. I go to events where he's heralded as a king. You want to see how popular he is? Come to the Buddy Billiken parade on Sunday. He's like a folk hero. You know what? Get real.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those elections where 20% of the voters show up, and if they don't show up to vote, then you're going to get what you get. And I continually blame the voters. You want to complain? I don't want to hear it from you if you haven't voted or gotten involved quite frankly, at this point. I want you actually get involved. It's disgusting. And so, you're right. He easily could find his 20% somehow.
Yeah. He's my competition, not Alexei.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of Alexei Janulius. I'm not afraid of anybody in this race.
It's all about the Greek vote.
Willie Wilson, Brandon, Mendoza, Olberg, Kelly. I talk to these people all the time. I'm a good candidate. I tell them, here, take my schedule. Come out. I'll introduce you to people. I ain't afraid of anybody.
Maria, Maria, I'm not as familiar with your background as maybe I should be because I live in Wheaton. But you've been the county treasurer for how long? And you've been the county treasurer for how long? Because I respect that office because it actually has to deal with the numbers, and you have to know what you're doing.
I've been there some 30-odd years, and another 8 years on the board. Listen, Amy, I'm on third base. I'm 77 years old. I'm on third base. I'm sliding into home. You know why I'm going to run for mayor?
Why?
The city needs a 10-year plan. Somebody to come in there for 4 years with an axe and get the train back on track. Nobody can do that except Pappas, because I don't care if I wreck my reputation. For me, it's about trying to save the city. And if somebody doesn't go in there with an axe, a hammer, a dog, and a whip, it's over. Pack it up. Go to Greece. Go to Spain. Go to Portugal. We're screwed.
I totally agree with you.
With any brains knows it. What?
I totally agree with you.
You will? Everybody agrees with me. That's why they're going to vote for me. You know what? Listen to me. If you're Jewish, go to the synagogue. If you're Christian, go to church. If you're an Arab, go to the mosque and pray that Pappas loses. Hope for me that I lose this race.
Why?
Seriously.
Okay.
Because I need this like I need a hole in my head. I'm doing it because I want to save the city that I spent 50 years building. You think I need to be mayor? Are you out of your mind? But you know what? I'm the only one who could do it, and I know it. So let's step up to the plate. And you know what? I lost. What did I lose? My virginity? Really? What did I lose? Huh? What did I lose? Amy?
And people should know that you're a lawyer. You're an accomplished concert pianist. I mean, and then I love your wardrobe. I love your social medias. My sons even know who you were, which was odd. I said, how do you know? They're like, oh, we see her reels.
You know who loses? You know who loses if Pappas loses?
Us.
Pappas can't lose. She's a winner. The only one that loses are the idiots that don't come out and vote.
Okay. All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Maria Pappas, Cook County Treasurer, and let us know. We'll have you back on later on when you officially announce. But
I'll have some big news for you in 4 weeks, but it's not about the mayor's race, and it's huge.
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate your authenticity. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you appreciate me telling you I'm not a Vestal virgin, right?
You're the best. All right, thank you so much. We'll be right back.